Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Iron Panther Presents. Chris and I are back to discuss The Chi, Season 4, Episode 4. So, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to focus on the positive.
What are we going to do?
This is what we're
going to do positive.
We're going to do positive.
Okay.
I'm going to say what should have happened, right? So, positive.
How's that a positive? You say what should have happened. Isn't positive because that's a wish. That's a wish, ain't a positive. How's that the same?
Wait. So they did get into Jada, right? So Emmett found out his mom has cancer. That's a positive. Hold up.
Something as negative as that. Well, okay, I get what you're saying.
All right. Finally, we're going to get into he actually gives a fuck that but does he though? This is my problem. They pulled the Tyler Perry. They wait till the end. That's not a compliment. They wait till the end to give you the one moment you've been waiting for, which is Emmett finally discovers mom has cancer, right? Like this should have happened at the beginning of this episode because he's
you go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So this is where I'm going with this. What we saw was Emmett bringing EJ by at night. Okay, so he's not dropping this kid off so he can go to work. He's dropping this kid off so he can go home and fucking talk to Tiffany about who they are or not fucking. Like, is that what you're doing right now? Like, how about you got him dropping off EJ in the morning? He sees his mom with, her boyfriend, not whatever. She's in the toilet. He's mama. What's going on? Let me be here for you. Let me take care of you, right? Then he brings like Tiffany over with the marijuana because his mom is going through cancer treatment. So maybe marijuana can help her through the cancer stuff. He and Tiffany are giving back to the woman that took care of them. That's what I'm saying. That's what should have happened with what they gave us.
But okay, I hear you on that. But then, and you're not wrong what you're saying. But I guess the other issue then is if that would have happened, then we would have not seen Emmett kind of realize that him even like having an open marriage thing was like he wasn't feeling it. You know what I mean? And because here's the deal: if you started off with the whole thing with him and his mother, everything else that would happen was him getting topped off. Which has been like, okay, are you kidding me? You're getting topped off after getting the news about your mother. You know what I mean? It just wouldn't make no sense. You see what I'm saying?
But that's my point.
But we would have had to see it.
That's my point.
You didn't want to. You trying to get rid of it? Oh, you trying to get rid of that? I get it.
All right. Yeah. In no way.
You're trying to exit out.
Yeah. I was trying to focus on the positive, but let's get to the negative. All right.
I got you.
Okay. We got bigger fish to fry than Emmett not wanting to get his dick sucked finally. Like, I don't need to see slow motion of Tiffany getting her pussy ate and him getting his dick sucked. I don't need that right now when his mama is going through cancer. Okay, like let's focus on the real shit, and then we get to the dumb shit. Like right now, we need to be seeing him taking care of her because remember, if you watch the preview for next week, she's going through cancer treatment. She's still trying to uplift this little shit. She's like, I'm proud of you, Emmett. I'm proud of you. She's still trying to make him feel like something. Like, your mama needs to be taken care of. You need to be helping her. He leaves his mom in the toilet, throwing up to go home and cry to Tiffany while he smokes marijuana because he's dealing with the stress of finding out his mama's going through some shit. Like, that is selfish.
You mean? Well, I mean, I hear you. Okay, yeah, no, I hear you. But I mean, we don't know how long he stayed after hearing the news and whatnot. I'm pretty sure after him hearing, her telling him what happened, he didn't just like all of a sudden just decide to just random just leave. You know what I mean?
But the writers, they made, again, what did they focus on versus what they didn't focus on, right? We got two sets.
You want to see that connection. You want to see him and her, be like him, like hug her up and do all that. Kind of like Big Mama and Soul Food, like I love you, Big Mama, like that whole thing.
But she ain't dying, Chris. But I'm like, but no, seriously, to be like,
she is dying. I'm sorry, she is.
Well, my point is,
before the end of the season,
she ain't gonna make it. She ain't gonna make it.
She ain't making it.
She ain't making it. But my point is though, then even more reason.
And that sucks because I love because Jade is one of my favorite. The only few. I love her. I love Jade, and I feel like they want to kill her off. But anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But that's my point, man. Like Tiffany should got the call. Come here now. Like come here and let's be here let's have a family moment. This is a serious situation they need to be dealing with, and they did none of that. You know. So however long he was there, he left. And we want to see him dealing with his. You could have that after you take care of your mom. I'm not saying he don't need time to mourn and grieve for his mom, right? I mean, I get that.
Right.
Well, let's show that Emmett can think about somebody else besides himself. Let's see it.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So I'm like,
yeah. You got no real argument out of me. Yeah. Okay. I got it.
So with that story being on the side, let's talk about Keisha. So now we're continuing down the road of Keisha trying to find the right place for her child. What's up?
I think one thing I just want to rewind about. I mean, with dealing with Emmett and the whole Tiffany thing, and because you brought it up kind of very briefly talking about EJ. They thought about us when Keisha said, "Where's EJ?" Said, "Oh shoot, I don't know." She's like, "He's probably over at the mother." I was like, "Thank you for acknowledging that you guys are the worst parents ever."
Yes.
She even said that. I was like, okay, at least they acknowledge that they have been like absent.
Thank you, Chris. I was trying to focus on the positive, but when I heard that shit, I was like, do you fully appreciate the ignorance that you just put into this script, writers? Because Jada's going through cancer treatment, so there's no way he's over there. And the fuck that she had to ask the question. I don't know where this little motherfucker at. He just do what he do. I guess he's 10. I don't know. He's 10 to 11. He can take care of himself. Shit. I mean, he needs me to take care of him. Like, what is happening? And then hold up. You notice how Dominique don't come to work? Emmett has to hire 3 or 4 new people. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that random guy looked like he was cutting a small bit of a rib in the back. I'm like, where he come from?
What?
All right.
Because when Dominique ain't there, he's like, oh, I can't run this business by myself. I got to get some extra help. And then like Papa was there. Papa's always there, right? But I'm like, usually it's Dominique like doing everything. Emmett running the register and talking big, and Papa running that point. I was like, oh, these guys didn't get any lines. They were like, hey, bro, thanks for coming in to help to acknowledge that we acknowledge that Dominique ain't here. You know what I'm saying? Maybe she's laying low because of the whole Tiffany thing. Like that would have been something. She's like, you know what? I'm gonna take a step back, let you and Tiffany get this shit worked out, and then I'm gonna come back to the store or something. I mean, that at least
or Showtime was abiding by COVID protocols of not having more than 10 people in an area at once at the time of them filming.
That could have been a thing.
That could have been. I mean, I noticed they don't usually have big groups as they sometimes have. Like, I don't know. I'm just kidding.
Except for the recording, Jake getting his ass whooped. But all right. Okay. So next positive storyline. So Keisha moving on, trying to figure out where she wants to put her child. Right. We still don't know the gender of said child. Child's gonna be induced next episode. So that's happening. So we should anyway. My thing is though, I'm starting to see a vibe. I'm starting to see a trend, right? So first episode, Keisha meets Octavia and her husband, right? Mm-hmm. And she's like, no, like she's like, Killer, there's something going on with this couple, right? And then she says, I want to put my child in a 2-parent household. I'm like, yeah, let's do that. Then she meets another 2-pair of parents, man and a woman, got other kids. Somehow she's like, I can't give my kids to these. They believe in Jesus. Like I can't have my doing that. I was like, I'm gonna give my child to a single mother with no other kids in her life because she gave me a glass of water. That means she.
Hold up. I don't. All right. Okay. I hear you, but I think what they were trying. I think what the writers was trying to, portray is basically kind of say that yes, has been more beneficial to have a 2-parent household, but not all kids, like sometimes having one great parent is what's necessary. You know what I mean? It's basically trying to say that, like, because think about how many decent people that grew up in a single parent household. Yes, it is better to have 2 parents, whatnot, but it's basically trying to say it's not everything. You know, you can have two parents, two decent parents or whatnot, and them still being shit. You know what I mean? And so it don't, you know what I mean? Or
the only thing wrong with these parents is they believed in Jesus. That's when she stopped and was like,
no, they did. They weren't. I ain't gonna lie. They went a little too extra. They were a little too extra. Say, I'm glad that God told you that this was like it was not a that you decided to keep it and you know that was a godly thing you had in your body. I was like, I got a little disturbed with that. I'm thinking like, hold up, and then you know what I mean, it was just a little. I don't know. It was just a little. It was too extra, and I'm thinking like, damn, dude, like, are you? I don't know. That just. That, yo, as a Christian, that was too much for me. I was like, why would you say all that? You know what I mean?
I think they went over the top with it. I still think like Lena Waithe, she has a problem with Christianity. I think she has. She has a thing. Papa's dad was supposedly under review. You know what I'm saying, for like, you know, for embezzlements. How many positive religious leaders are in this show, or even positive religious people? You remember they got rid of Common. Go think about it. They got rid of Common, right?
They didn't get rid of Common. They probably couldn't afford Common, maybe.
Then they got rid. Then they changed Ronnie to a Muslim. To a Christian, and then that went out the window. It just irritated me to be like, she in the end she was like, this woman gave me a glass of water. I'm gonna give my child to this single mother who has no kids whatsoever because she figured out. You really gonna tell me that a doctor couldn't go give her some time, give her some fluids, and her blood pressure will go down? He had no clue how to do that. It was Octavia that figured that out all by herself.
So this is I can't believe you're making me do this. You're making me actually defend the show again, or at least this episode. Is that which is kind of hard, but anyway, to that end, yo, especially if you know about like induced, like having someone to get induced labor or whatnot. Some of these doctors, yo, no joke. Some of these doctors just like will just kind of try to skip A through, you know, go from A to D by just going straight there and just kind of cross corners. You know what I mean? I told you about the whole ordeal I just dealt with, just getting my wisdom teeth pulled when I was supposed to get one, and somehow they tricked me into getting all four, and they're like, yo, you didn't need to get all four taken out. You know what I mean? Yo, they just sometimes get. Not to mention, especially if you get induced like that, you know, a lot of women sometimes deal with complications after the fact. In the sense of like, it could affect like their immune system afterwards. Sometimes the baby, sometimes especially if it's too early or whatnot, that can affect like their blood flow and whatnot. And a lot of times, especially those women who do it naturally and just kind of just let it go, especially with the whole blood pressure thing, a lot of times they don't have no complications. You know what I mean? Yes, you do have, you know, so to that end, I kind of thought, well, not only that, Octavia has, you know how many like issues she had as far as like you know, she couldn't give birth and she tried several times. So I think she would know more than this old white man. You know what I mean? Who just reads it. He reads it in a book compared to a woman who actually dealt with this.
So again, we're talking about blood pressure not inducing the baby, just to be clear, all right? Because I'm saying, because even Keisha was like, we need to induce this baby. They were trying to lower her blood pressure, and this woman gave her a glass of water, and she wants to give her child to her. Because like I said, next week's episode, they're inducing that child anyway. So white doctor was right. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I just for the record. But anyway,
okay, I got it. All right.
These are the storylines we need to be focused on. Jada's cancer treatment and very likely death. How's Emmett going to deal with that? Is he going? That's what we need to talk about. Keisha's journey with her child. That's what we need to be talking about. All right. Then what we don't need to be talking about, oh my God, is this unnecessary, undeveloped love triangle between Kevin, Gemma, and Jake. How ridiculous can you be that in episode 1 of this season, Gemma heard Jake say, I wouldn't say that to no bitch about I love you. He smells good in an interview because he put on some cologne, and now they're making out. And then she's surprised when this boy goes, what do you mean, what are we going to do? You kiss me? And she's mad and walks away. Who the fuck does she think Jake is?
No, you know where I said, you know, I can't trust her. When she said she never had a fish sandwich. Some BS is that? Who never had a fish sandwich? You a black girl. Talking about you never had a fish sandwich? She gotta be out her goddamn mom. I heard that. I was like, you know what? That red flag. Red flag, get out, get out, get out.
So you know what? This is the one time I was standing up for Kevin. Now you got me defending Kevin. So when Kevin was like, I'm not doing this bullshit walkout because I just got going to therapy, which was unnecessary, to be like, he was like, I'm trying to get my relationship with my parents, right? So then Jim is like, well, you can't support me on this. Like, it didn't make any sense because there's no racial anything going on at that school. And this bullshit that remember, you're like, your speech caused riots or whatever. What riots? What are you talking about? There's nothing.
Oh yeah. You mean are you talking about that, like that morning announcement thing that Gemma and
Jake did?
That's another thing I forgot. That's another thing I forgot to bring up in the previous episode. How the hell? I mean, especially it looked like, was it a private school or whatnot?
Yeah.
You know, like then he dropped the F-bomb. He says, "Yo, when we say fuck the police," I'm like, oh. I'm like, how you not get in trouble for that? I'm still trying to figure out.
So thank you for bringing that up, Chris.
I forgot about that.
Thank you for bringing that up. That's what Duda should have been after school addressing. That black principal, because all of a sudden this white school got a black principal, but whatever. The meeting should have been about Jake is being suspended again because he said fuck the police in front on school campus and on school property, right? That makes sense. But they're trying to act like they're gonna expel Gemma and Jake for starting some kind of civil rights movement riot. I'm like, what riot? What are you talking about?
Well, not only that. So didn't someone's door? Didn't one of the was it a guidance counselor's door in front of one of the doors say BLM? Didn't say Black Lives Matter in front of one of the doors?
So that was. You're right, but that was.
I saw Black Lives Matter in front of somebody's door. But
that was the teacher that Gemma was making fun of in episode 1, saying, you know, Professor so-and-so thinks she's somebody because she got Black Lives Matter on the door. Like that's the teacher she was making fun of. So it just kind of.
Well, I guess my point is, especially if that's the thing. Like that is, I mean, even let's just say, even if you go to all black school, when you put on, like, especially if a teacher, right? If a teacher puts out a Black Lives Matter there, that means you also support like what's going on in the sense of like sometimes the protest. So that interview alone should have not caused that much of a ruckus. That's my point.
It didn't cause any ruckus. But that's why I'm saying you're right. If the school's allowing this poster to be on the wall, right, then like this it shouldn't have been a conversation. Like this was dumb as shit. Mm-hmm. And then
right.
So then you got kids in 2021 who first say, I'm gonna use Instagram to DM everyone for the walkout, is now sticking flyers in every single locker. I'm like, pick your generation. Pick your like, what are you doing? Also, Gemma, the Black Lives Matter revolutionary that she is leading a by any means necessary group, which is created mostly of white kids. I was like, what?
I was going to say, see, not only that, like, I'm just thinking, like, what I was confused about is how you organize this thing and you don't at least kind of be like, hey, like, kind of get your ears to everyone else to kind of figure out, like, is everyone still on the same page? But then it was kind of weird that it kind of made it seem like it was all Kevin's fault. Kevin saying, like, I don't want to get in trouble. That scared everybody away. Like, it was just really weird. I didn't understand that, and then it was just, I don't know. I mean, I didn't understand that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, they're trying to force some bullshit conflict so you could justify Jake and Gemma running off and Dakota. So the one who's standing up for them is Dakota. The reason
ride or die, that is the female Brayden right there. That's a ride or die right there. That is Brayden in female form. That's what that is.
Okay, well, you know, Brayden didn't fuck Tariq, but I see where you're going with that. So that's my other thing, right? So they had at least one or two black girls in that group who had no dialogue whatsoever. The only black boys in that meeting, and I guess at that school, is Jake and Kevin. Kevin was the only one that made any kind of sense. Again, I'm defending him when he's like, "Hey, Jake, we walk out of this school, Jim is gonna be all right because she got money. Me and you are on scholarship. Let's remember that shit, okay?" So
yeah, I mean, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go
no,
ahead.
I'm saying like, I mean, I agree with Kevin was like, we need to think about this real situation. And then in the end, I'm like, how is Gemma not acknowledging that the reason that Jake was even in school suspension was that he was fucking the white girl right next to you? Like, how you fighting the white power struggle with white people? Like, and then I'm like, that's why he was in detention. It wasn't because of some kind of civil rights movement. Same thing with Kevin. Again, as we talked about, Kevin was in detention because he was doing drugs with white kids, having a good old time, you know? So I'm like, what is the point of any of this shit? They just wanted them running around, holding hands, kissing each other all night. We didn't.
Yeah, No, you're absolutely right. I didn't. So for one, I mean, I didn't understand to that end, to what Kevin was saying, like, hey, she has nothing to lose because she's rich. If anything, that's what made it so weird that it was her starting this revolution. I'm thinking, you know, like your father, like it didn't make realistically. Usually, like I don't know. I mean, usually you don't see those people who have like people who got fathers who are trying to aspire to become like a mayor, or I'm sorry, not well, maybe he's not a mayor, but he's like an official. Or
I got
right?
you.
Somebody, you know what I mean? Like that's just,
he has a father. Let's just start there. You got a father in the house with some status and a job. Like you don't see people like this acting like we got to come up. Like you know what struggle is. No, you don't. It's like Tariq. Like Tariq don't know what struggle is. Like Gemma don't know what struggle is. Like she really don't. Even financial struggle, no rich struggle. Like Kevin and Jake know. Jake knows in particular because he has a very fucked up story. I mean that boy's been through a lot.
Yeah. And then a walkout, and then I'm thinking like, but it wasn't filmed, and then the fire alarm thing was BS on two occasions. For one, I mean, I had so at my high school we had someone that pulled an alarm and whatnot, you know, because he just didn't want to go to class, and it was right. Matter of fact, it was right after the DC sniper. It was right after DC sniper. Someone pulled the alarm. You know what happened to him? His ass got expelled. Okay, his ass got expelled. They found out who it was, whatever. Got his ass expelled. Okay, so that's one. Two, when you pull a fire alarm, it was like, oh, we evacuate school. Guess what? You go to your assigned area, and guess what? They send y'all back. You accomplished nothing.
You're not done.
You accomplished nothing. Okay? You did nothing. Yes, you got them out for a quick second. And guess what? The fire department arrives, they're like, oh, someone pulled it.
And I was about to say, that's a crime. That's a crime right there at point. That's like screaming fire in a crowded theater. Like that's like you said, you're gonna get expelled to some shit. And then I'm like, then Dakota's like, I'll be your white shield. I was like, what is happening? You know what?
Yeah, I mean, because Jake gave it to her so good. She was like, oh, I was like, I got you, boo.
Hey,
I got you, boo.
Hey, remember we said that about Godfather of Harlem. The only black people, white people fighting for black rights were the two white women fucking black men.
So let me tell you. So let me ask. So is Jake like? Does he got some pimp juice on him or something?
Ooh,
he got like.
It's just.
He got Panther spray on. All these girls are just doing bad stuff.
Dude, this man got his ass whooped by the cops, and he's living his best life. His best life.
No, right?
You know, if this
all these girls are just like risking it all because of Jake. I'm like, damn, okay. I'm like, you got these two good girls turn bad, you know? I'm like, what the hell?
Because this is the Shy. You know what they should have did?
What's that?
Jake should have been like, you know what, girls? Let's just end all this racial, like division. How about us three just work this out? Let's just see what we can do, right? He should have been like, look, I'm gonna kiss Dakota, then I'm gonna kiss you, Gemma, then you're gonna kiss Dakota. We're just gonna work this out and show that we can come together.
Was that wild things?
Wild things.
Like there you go. Is that what we're doing?
Or American Pie. I mean, either way. But
then they're holding hands. You see black, white hands holding together, and
you know what I'm saying?
There you go. Rainbow Coalition.
Rainbow Coalition. Like in fact, let's take it to the next Shine level. They should have did this in front of the school on Instagram to be like, and it's Pride Month. So then you got, look, we're in a polygamous relationship. So we don't do labels. We don't see color. We're just gonna make out us three together in front of this whole school, and then everybody's gonna watch us. I would not put it past it. If we were not dealing with bigger issues, I would be like, let's just end it with that, because this makes no sense that these two are gonna have some kind of star-crossed lover relationship that all of a sudden Kevin's gonna flip out about next episode. So I'm like,
Well, what do you mean all of a sudden? I mean, Kevin's reaction, I would say, was justified. I mean,
No, no,
like that was his girl. Like he realized, like he, at least in his mind, now that's where I think he messed up. Like he shouldn't apologize to her for shit. Like in the sense, and like you said, like I defended him in the sense of just saying, like, yo, he didn't want to get in trouble. Not to mention, even if he wasn't in trouble, bro, like okay, like yo, nah, you good. Like I mean,
yeah.
first off, no one else was on the same page as those two, so you know, nah, F her. If she's like, if she's all about just kind of just doing whatever, I mean, just, with Jake, then let him,
I
So,
personally, so when he did the live stream with Papa, when Kevin did the live stream with Papa, what I've said
mhm.
before, and I say it again, what he should apologize for is how he's been treating her before this episode. Like him treating her like shit when she bought him a laptop to make him feel better. Him pushing her away on the bus when all she was trying to do was console him because he's going through his PTSD. That's the shit he needs to apologize for. Like not supporting her and this bullshit walkout is not that thing. But somehow he's like, this is what I messed up. I want more Papa and Maisha. That's the child love story I want to see. Like that's positive. Like I want to see that develop because this love triangle is stupid. Like I mean, yeah. It's anyway. But my point is they prepped next week's episode, right? They prepped, Kevin walking in on Jake and Gemma. That's prepped. Keisha gonna give birth next week. That's prepped. What's not prepped is Mayor behind me, who's about to get shot, and they've done very, very little effort to prep us.
Right.
Well, who's gonna put a bullet in his happy ass?
Yeah, I know, right? Like, no, I mean, unless literally it is just Tracy. I mean, that's the only thing that might be a prep, but even then, it's just like they're just it's just yeah. It's
so this I'm gonna tie that with the storyline that they should be focused on, and that's the sad story of Trinity. So,
oh yeah,
Trinity, who was forced into prostitution by Nuck, then killed by Nuck. This should have been a major storyline in this episode. We should have saw what Nuck did to her body being found, because we need to care about this. Like, if Jake getting his ass whooped by a cop, okay, is local news to the point that the community comes together and riots and protests. Mayor comes down. He wants to get involved. I'm like, Trinity's death at the hands of another black person needs to be that type of level of something. Somebody needs gives a fuck about her. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I want to see if it comes with next week's episode, because I doubt it does. And that's when I'm disappointed. I'm gonna wait till next week's episode.
Well, I mean, well, and that's why I think, though, I mean, only two people, I guess, at this point that would make sense of shooting Duda, but even then, but to your point, was not set up correctly, would be either Tracy and then or Imani. I guess that's pretty much it. I would say it's like probably really Imani, because she's so pissed off with what happened and whatnot. Yeah, I know she's at the party, but I mean, don't mean that later on in that party she just went outside and be like.
No, but I'm saying he gets shot at the party. That's my point. I think it is going to be Imani. I think Imani's going to hold Duda responsible, because Trig is not accepting responsibility for the fact that he runs that trap house, and therefore she's going to be like, Duda, that's your response. This is your fault, because remember last year she was upset with the other women that were being sex trafficked there, right? And that all falls under Duda. So I can see her at the party shooting him because of that, right? But so you bring up Tracy, right? So Imani trying to confront Tracy to get her to be like, get involved with this thing, right? I would have wanted Tracy to get all the women. This is a woman issue now. Like, instead of like last week's episode where they're dealing with like black people shooting each other, which really is a man issue. This right here is a woman issue. She should have got all those women together, gone to that trap house and protested and got some cameras and got some attention, because I remember Tracy was sold to a drug dealer and raped in season 1. We find that out in season 1, right? And I'm like, they could have brought that. They could have been like, I'm not going to let this happen to someone like this. And they could have used that as her motivation and got Dude involved. She could have been like, look here, Mayor Perry, since you gave me a big mic, as you're referring to your dick, I guess, like, I need you to come down here and stop this, because she said she tried to get the trap house raided, and that didn't go anywhere. Like, this could have been a good, like, that could be next week's protest. This episode, she finds the body dead. Protest next week's episode, and let's see if the mayor can get involved. But that would have been a great way to kind of bring in a season 1 storyline when it comes to Tracy, I thought.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I didn't like. I definitely understood where Imani was coming from, and that was cool. I just didn't like Tracy's response to it, especially the line. I guess they added this line in there because they thought it was like it sounded good. They were like I guess when she got upset when Imani got upset with Tracy said, you all worry about that, but you can't even handle your own household, or he said something. She said some line. And I was like, you want to talk about being messy, like not only just your current relationship, but in your previous relationships, like. Nah,
Oh,
homegirl.
that's
like,
right. That's
I'm
right.
like, come on now.
Like,
nah, man. Like, don't. Like, it was just really weird. Especially it comes like the wrong messenger. The wrong messenger.
Yes.
For one, you see how upset Imani is. Why would you even say that? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, just saying that alone was like, yes, she's raising her voice in this big public thing, and but clearly she knows that Imani's like obviously going through something because I mean obviously she doesn't know Imani's past. But still, you could kind of figure that out just by seeing how upset she is about this random woman who she's not even related to. That clearly should have ranked some sort of red flag, And to your point, what happened to her in the first season with Tracy, she, I mean, like, come on. Like, I mean, I'm a dude and I know that. I mean, other women, come on. Like, seriously?
These writers are shit. These writers are shit.
Yeah. So everything with Imani, I think was cool in the sense, I didn't, the cell phone thing, I was like, Imani, like, really? This girl's being, Trinity's watched 24/7. You want to give her a phone? Like, well, you want to call, like, hope that thing go vibrate and be like, what's that sound? Like, what you think, Doc? Like, come on now. You should have been like, meet me at the car at this time, me and Trey. Like, you run real fast and we had the door open and we just screw out that bitch. Like, that's what I thought.
I thought that was going to happen at the grocery store. I thought that was the point of the grocery store scene, that she set it up already, that she was going to run out the back. That's what I thought. Yeah. And I was like, that would have made more sense instead. I'm doing all this to give you a phone so we can do this later. Like, shouldn't you have coordinated this escape before you showed up? Like, you should come with her with a plan. I mean,
did she know she was gonna be there, or did she tell Nuck like, "Hey, I gotta go to the store," and Nuck just followed her?
They didn't go through all that. I think it was pre-planned because she already had the phone with her. So at some point, it must have been pre-planned. But they should have showed that. My point, like that's something we should have talked about. And Trig could at least help with that. But anyway, so it's good that you bring up Tracy because that bullshit that in the morning she can't leave the penthouse because there's protesters outside. I'm like, that place is full of other apartments, like condos. Why would they think that you of all people are coming out of the mayor's place? Like, this is not his whole entire building. And like and I'm saying, so I was like, I'm not sure the point of that. I mean, I was like, but I forgot you. Thanks for reminding me. For her to be throwing people's houses, in her face, I'm like, you fucking the mayor and maybe the mayor's wife at some point. If this story keeps on going on, I'm like, Raza, she should have said that. As crazy as her character was, Raza should have been like, look, it ain't no fun that the wife can't have none, some stupid shit like that. And be like, let's just put it out there. Maybe after Duty gets shot. We'll see.
Hey, I mean, I mean, we said it before though. Like, you don't mess with Tracy. Like, you see that, you look at the line and be like, yeah, I ain't messing with Tracy. Yeah, you just,
Hey, it still holds true. It still holds true. Any man that gets with Tracy is dead because he's getting shot. Either way, he's fucking Tracy and he is getting shot. So either way,
he gets shot at least. Yeah.
So it still holds. You need to leave Tracy alone. Like, she ain't good for you.
Yeah.
Huh. So I was like, oh shit, that on purpose? Like why she not doing this shit? Anyway, I need to understand. So Trig, let's talk about Trig. So I don't understand. I appreciate Trig trying to help Imani by going to see Nuck, about Trinity, but he didn't bring Big Mike. He didn't bring like Shad or whatever, like the dude in his house. Like, how do you roll up?
Where was he? Where was he in this episode? Oh yeah. See, I was waiting to see if there was going to be like more of a. Well, I guess it'll be after episode 5. I guess after that hump, whatever. Because I was like, oh, because they made a big point when Nuck trying to tell him, like, yo, Imani's a man. You know what I mean? Like, Imani is you take the eye and the eye on the front and the end, and then that's what she is like. You know what I mean? I thought that's what I was like. What happened to that whole storyline? And but I don't know.
Well, so to that point, so they could have addressed his outrage with Trig in this episode, They could have been like he's so offended that he moved out, which Amani would have been happy with because she don't want that could resolve the issue. If you would saw I'm moving out, bruh, this ain't my kind of lifestyle or whatever. Trig and him getting the fight, he moves out, so be it. But like once again, black men showing they don't need any help to kill each other. Like Trig shows up by himself, everybody pulls out their guns, ready to shoot. Trig talking about he ready to die. Like I'm like. You don't bring any backup whatsoever. You were in charge of a mob. Like you're in charge of a criminal organization and you still show up by yourself. I'm confused. Like, did the writers forget about that? Is he not in charge?
Yeah. I don't.
We don't know. We don't know. Yeah. Like it doesn't make sense.
Oh yeah, and I like to say, remember, I think I said in the previous episode, previous video that Gemma was like my least favorite character.
Yes.
But surprisingly, she's no longer my least favorite now. I got somebody else, my least favorite. Freaking Nina, man. Nina.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Oh my God. I predicted this bullshit. It was clear that I was like, you know what? I realized, and then I had to think about this. Nina has always been annoying as hell. She's always been annoying as hell, and I've always hated her. I didn't realize this at the time, but I always low-key hated her. I was like, you know what? Like, I was like, even though Drake's not related to them, Drake should just pack the kids like, hey, kids, we loading up or whatever and just steal the kids away because Nina on some other shit, yo. Nina, like for one, like, let's start with Octavia. The whole thing with Octavia, like, it's like, what you know about this? And like, bro, like, first off, you knew Keisha met her or whatever about Octavia, and you were vetting other foster parents, right? You know her past. You did not realize her past about the whole she could not have a baby or whatnot. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. And then her response was, oh, I'm sorry if that triggered you. Okay. You know what I mean? And then the whole thing with Drake, right? Like, first off, and I was like, oh God, here we go. Like, all right, y'all best friends with Jake. Like, thank you for first off, the phone goes off, right? First off, yo, Drake, you need to learn to put a lock on your damn phone, all right? Put a lock on your phone, put a lock, like, so when that phone rings or whatnot, I just thought it was just weird. I just thought it was weird, and then all of a sudden her mind goes, now it makes sense of that preview we saw in the very first episode when we saw Nina, like, run, I guess when Keisha was, like, going into labor. Yeah. We saw Nina, like looking at Dre and whatnot. Now I know, I'm like, oh my God, because she thinks that Dre is screwing Jada. I'm thinking like, and now that's the stupidest storyline. I think now that's the dumbest storyline.
So once again, they waste time not showing some shit. We already knew that the whole, Dre helping Jada undercover was going to mess up, her relationship with Nina. We knew that, right? But they didn't show that. So in this, I got to disagree. If Nina is texting her wife, and she ain't responding when her daughter is in the hospital, right? Like, that's bullshit. Like, no one leaves a voicemail of our daughter is in the hospital. You need to come. That's a text message. That's what you like.
Yes.
So I'm like, these writers are dumb as fuck because there's no way she would have left a voicemail and not getting the text.
I said the same thing. I'm thinking like you let it ring and ring, right? I'm thinking like, yes, I'll say to the Dre's part, after someone, I will say Dre's in the wrong too, in the sense of after someone keeps calling you over and over again, you know something's up. Something like, all right, fine. You ignore the phone call once, or like whatever. Like I'm helping out my homegirl Jada, whatever. After like it's immediate thing, it was like, damn, what she want? Must be something serious, right? But yes, to the point where like Keisha, like there's some issues. You're like, oh man, she's not picking up. I better leave a voicemail message, not just like SOS text, like you said, all caps. You know what I mean?
Like that's a text. And then to show the bullshit these writers are trying to pull off, to set up unnecessary drama. We already know that Emmett knows that Jada has cancer, which is the whole reason that Jada told Nina not to tell Dre. Jada told Dre not to tell Nina. That's the whole reason. So
because you know why? Because they know Nina is annoying as fuck. They know Nina's annoying, just like I said. They all know Nina is fuck and she can't keep her damn mouth shut. You know what I mean? He said, she can't keep her mouth shut. She'll tell Keisha and Keisha will tell Emmett. Like, it's like, it's like, so I was like, damn, it's like when it says like bars, I was like, I never realized Nina was annoying last season when Keisha went missing and she took it out on Dre. Like, how the hell is this Dre's fault? You know what I mean? How the hell is this her fault? What the hell? Like, you gotta help find my daughter. Like, it's my daughter, not your daughter. I'm like, oh wow, really? Like, we just married her.
That's what
like, oh wow. I was surprised Dre didn't be like deuces. Like,
bitch.
You know, yo, Drake, you know what? I gotta tell you, I like Drake, but the only thing that's making Dre not one of my favorite characters is that she's still dealing with her crazy ass. I'm sorry. That's the only thing that's kind of keeping me from really liking Dre. Like, to the point her being like the top tier of my favorite characters. You know what I mean?
All right. So again, bad writers trying to create unnecessary drama. It don't make sense, right? If Emmett already knows that Jada has cancer, the text message should not have been, "Thank you for keeping my secret." It should have been, "Emmett knows I have cancer." Like,
oh yeah, that's right. You know what? That's right. The timing. That's right. Oh, I didn't. You know what? I forgot that. Okay, she told Emmett before she sent that text. So yeah, that makes no sense. I didn't even think about that. So
or even what you do text is, "Hey, babe, hey, girl, my appointment tomorrow is at 3:00. Can you make it?" Because by now she's already kept the secret. So why are you texting her in this process to be like, every day she texts her to say thank you for keeping the secret? That doesn't make any sense. And to your point, in what world does Nina believe that Jada, who's currently fucking the dude her son's age, all of a sudden wants to fuck Dre?
Yeah, yes, okay, fine. Yes, you're gonna have some, and no, usually human beings aren't just going to be like, oh, okay, I'm going to go for this particular type of person in the sense of like, hey, if you are or is a guy that likes other guys or whatnot, you're not going to all of a sudden switch to girls. Or if you're a guy that likes a girl, you're not all of a sudden going to switch. You know what I mean? That's not normal. Human beings don't just act like that. If they have a particular way, like go toward, unless you're just straight up bisexual or whatever, you know what I mean? But there's nothing in Jada's past that hinted to that.
That's
you know what I mean? People don't just all of a sudden be like, hey, you know what? All of a sudden, I've been dating black men all my life. Hey, this random white girl, I'm just going like, that's not, you know what I mean? Like, come on. Like, at least read the previous text messages. Don't just go with that last text. Like, just scroll just a little bit up. You know what I'm like? Yeah, don't tell Emmett. Like, don't tell her because of Emmett. Like, something. You know what I mean? It's just weird how her mind just went straight to, oh my God, she's fucking Jada.
Well, I would say her concern, the fact that she's that concerned, her face says, "Oh, there's something going on with her and Jada," right? Like, that's ridiculous, right? But I'm saying, so I'm trying to give these writers some type of credit that next week's episode is not Nina jumping on Dre saying, "Why are you fucking Jada?" Like, I'm hoping that's not where this goes.
It will. I mean, well, you saw it in the watch the first episode again in that scene, literally, and this is what's so messed up, right? Okay, yes, you are married, both of y'all are married, right? But you saw Keisha's having contract, like literally, she's about to give birth in this pool, right? And the first thing you see, Nina's like just looking right at Dre, and I'm like, at that moment, yes, all right, you won't be the happiest person in the world, but for that moment. Like right now, you got to make sure that both your baby and her baby. You got to make sure that both your baby and her baby are fine. You know what I mean? Yeah. You just ignore anything that Dre says. Fine, you just ignore her ass. You be like, yo, I'll deal with you later. Right now, I got to focus on this. But the way they made it seem like, oh my God, yes, the Keisha thing, Keisha having a baby's background noise is, I have beef with you right quick. You're like, what? I just thought that was really weird. And I was thinking, that's why I was like, when I saw that in the first episode, I was like, dang, what did Dre do? Because Dre looked like she was confused. And then I'm like, oh.
So Nina's not going to say anything. She's going to stew on this the whole time. And to your point, that's where the face comes from. So she don't confront them. She's just giving them the evil eye. But if Jada is still going through chemo, she shouldn't have the energy to be sitting up there trying to help Keisha give birth, right? I'm like, she needs to be taking care of herself.
Oh, yeah, she was there, wasn't she? Yeah.
So I'm like, that doesn't, like...
Well, I'm going to be honest. I mean, she could just think about it. Like, like you see people do extraordinary things, even if they're like, think about, if you are under the weather or whatnot, and then someone, your loved ones or whatnot, your wife or something's like really hurt or whatnot. Yo, you might not feel like it, but all of a sudden, like you just have this random like adrenaline running through you. You know, you see what I'm saying? She's a nurse. Nina's a nurse. Yes, I know she's dealing with cancer or whatnot, but like this is her calling in the sense that she's a nurse. She helps people, and all of a sudden, her home, like one of her friends' daughter is about to give birth. She might just try to shelve it, and then her heart's probably beating 100 times a minute because she's trying to do the cancer. But you know what I mean? So I kind of chalk it to that in a sense,
All right,
you know.
all right. I would,
you know, because it's not like they're going to the hospital. They're like, well, damn, I'm the only practicing practitioner over here. You know, nurse practitioner. You know.
So I would say to that point, what I would like to see, which is not going to happen, but I would like to see again Emmett step up to be useful. He's there in her stead. He and Tiffany are there to be like, we're gonna help you through this. My mom is going through, cancer treatment and chemo, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, but we're gonna be here for you, you know what I'm saying? Because he, like you said, he and Keisha have really developed a great relationship. I did think it was interesting and adult, but also kind of weird that Keisha and Tiffany were joking about the fact that they were sharing this nigga at one point. As they joke about the fact that Tiffany had no clue where her child was.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I got a little distracted. I saw something really disturbing. I saw a bird just grab a cicada out in midair, and then the cicada's all crawling around. The bird's just picking at it, taking the wings off. I was just like, he's still going. I'm sorry. All right, my bad. As you were saying, that bird is ruthless. That bird is more ruthless than whoever shot Duda. You know what I mean? That bird.
I gotta see how that goes. I gotta see how that goes out. But anyway, I hope next, besides Kevin, losing his shit over Gemma and Jake, I hope somehow Maisha and Papa are there having a great time at this party. I'm trying to figure out how all these different people are at the same location.
All right, I want to rewind something you just said. So are you basically kind of saying that like Kevin shouldn't be that upset with the whole thing with Gemma? I mean, no, granted,
No. He should. I understand why he would be upset. It's not a surprise. He's been seeing this shit coming for a while. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's trying to fight it. I'm just again like this ain't the story we need to be looking at right now. Like either way, I don't give a fuck. But I'm just saying it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen next week.
Let me ask you this question. Who's more in the wrong, Jake or Gemma?
Jake.
Who's more? Yeah. Okay. See, I was thinking that too, but then I also was looking at how old they were, right? In the sense that the whole bro code. So bro code, yo. You know, it's the whole thing in the sense of like, bro codes first, women come later in the sense of like, you're bros for life. Women's like just there. That's how the bro code goes when it comes to like you don't mess with another girl, with another man's girl. They don't use the term girl, but y'all know what I mean. But anyway, but then I also look like, yeah, but you that young, it's like the bro code's kind of slowly developing and whatnot. I just know that one of those two are gonna have to go in the sense of like either. Like in the words of Charlie Murphy, it's a gunfight after that. In the sense that like either Gemma's gonna have to go in the sense like she gotta just disappear. I pray that it's Gemma, or it's Jake, and they just somehow have to just kind of somehow squash that. I'll go with.
No, I think Jim is going to be pushed out the situation. I think that's how it's going to work. But really, Jake and Kevin have not addressed the thing about the police brutality moment that Jake felt like Kevin wasn't there for him. That's what started the rift, and they haven't gone back to that. They've replaced that with you trying to fuck my girl, and I'm like, that's not what you guys were fighting about. Like you were fighting about the fact that Jake was like, you left me hanging as I'm getting my ass whooped. And Kevin was like, well, what you want me to do? Like they haven't addressed that issue. Like Papa was trying to help out, but that's really what I thought that was what broke them up. That's what really put the rift in the relationship. Jim is just another extension of that. So I'm like, they need to get back to that, to be like, we're friends. And like, Kevin at one level said, look, I'm sorry I wasn't there, but this is how I felt. And Jake's understanding to an extent to be like, I mean, I get it. And they worked that out, but to make it act like that Gemma was putting this apart. And this ain't Jake's first time, as Spill the Tea pointed out. This ain't Jake's first time trying to move in on Kevin's action.
That's right. No, you're right. That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
And if these writers are consistent, which they're not, let's remember that Maisha wanted Kevin when this show first started, right? I'm saying, and all of a sudden she with Papa. I mean, Papa didn't steal her away. I'm saying the writers This writers just forgot about what they wrote about. They said, fuck it. But I'm like, so Kevin has had his friends, intermingle in his relationships, over time. But yeah, Jake constantly tried to steal that last woman he was with. So
speaking of Papa, what type of IG live mess was that? The whole like, it's it's your boy. I'm like, is this what what's your boy? What did he say he was trying to get?
What?
He said he was trying to interview somebody, some celebrity.
Oh yeah. I can't remember his name. Jones. I thought something Jones.
Wait. Damn it. Well, anyway. Well, yes. Well, anyway, is this going to be the thing where all of a sudden the celebrity's going to be like, I saw your IG live or whatever, and I did. I did pause some of those at some of those messages. Some of those messages was hilarious as hell. One guy said something like, "Yo, who the hell is this kid? Who's this little kid or whatever?" He said, "Yo, this kid." Said, "Yo, this boy bugging." Talking about Kevin, I guess like, "Yo, this man can't apologize to a girl worker." And I'm thinking, but then I was also thinking like, what is Jim following Papa in the sense of like, Kevin was apologizing, like, "Yo, I'm sorry." And I'm thinking like, you do that on live. That was so weird.
Yeah,
that was so cringy.
Yeah,
like she's apologizing to Gemma through Papa's live, not just sending a video to her. Like, just let me go live and hopefully she views it.
She might watch. Like she's never even been on this thing. Like what are you doing? Like Gemma. So to this, if they would have did something right, if the writers would have said that Papa and Gemma got together, did some kind of cross-platform conversation, so there Kevin knew that Gemma was a member, she participated, that would make some little bit of sense. But for this dude to be like, I'm gonna talk to these and how did Papa get so many followers in the first place? Like, since
did he even say how many followers he had?
My point is, like you said, he had scrolls and scrolls of people commenting. Who are these people? I mean, he just started with Maisha rapping. I mean, that was one podcast. So I'm like, what has he been doing that he's been dropping all this content?
Actually, it would have made more sense if it was Maisha that did it. And I say that because Maisha was the one that uploaded that video. If she uploaded that video, because if you think about it, it was like people would be following like, oh, this is the girl that uploaded that video. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And it's and that's what I was actually, another thing I was kind of expecting too. I mean, I don't know if this was happening in the second half of this season or whatnot. I was expecting at least this season that you'll see like a lot of the media kind of like diverge onto the city of Chicago for a couple reasons. For that big event that just happened, right? I mean, in the sense of this black boy got brutalized, by this cop. And then two, a cop all of a sudden just got murdered, right? People forgot about that. Cop died, or at least Trick. I'm assuming Trick killed him.
He didn't die.
He didn't die. That's right. He lived. That's right. Yeah, because he got. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
That's still a thing.
I forgot about that.
That's still a thing.
Dude, but still, And then three, then the Olympics. Like I'm trying to bring the Olympics, unless that was purposely to show that, like literally, as when the season ends, literally we're now going to get to the actual Olympics on TV, and that was just some bullshit product placement y'all just did on it. Like, well, you think that's what it is?
Well, no. I don't know what the fuck on these people's minds. But you know what? This was, I'm thinking. This was written last year when the Olympics was supposed to happen in Japan, and when Trump was in office. Since he was mentioned for no damn reason. Like, I think the writers were trying to go for what was current as they were writing it, not putting some thought into the fact that by the time this shit went out, like the Olympics wouldn't even happen. Or maybe they were projecting that the next Olympics will come. To your point of media attention, the fact that the Black community are policing themselves should be a media discussion. Like, if it's going well, which is not, hence Trap House and Trendy being murdered, like that would have been a media story. Like these people have, the cops have not gone in there. Trig and Tracy, as the maybe representatives of this self-policing effort. How's it going? Like that would have been a media story, especially if it was making some actual progress, or not. Like that could have been a media story. The Jake thing is died down. I mean, that was so long ago that it's always some other kid being beat up by the cops, and there's other thing, and there's other people just being straight murdered in Chicago. Like Trendy's murder. I mean, let's be real. I mean, every weekend somebody's getting shot in Chicago. Like that's just how it is. So Jake getting beat up on the scale of of media stuff is gonna fall off pretty quickly.
Well, no, I mean, yeah, but at the same time, I mean, think about it. Media's not going to cover just. I mean, they don't usually just cover just someone getting shot unless it's unless somebody who's a shooter shoots like a bunch of people, like a mass shooter, right? So either two things where they really cover it. One is a mass shooting, or two, when a cop is involved and shoots someone that they feel, you know what I mean, someone that's authority. But yeah, they don't, but
I
they
mean,
don't focus on.
it does get reported. It's not gonna be like all week. My point, like self-policing is a thing. Like they said last week, if this works out, we can be an example to the nation or whatever. Like that could be part of the storyline with, like, saying when the media comes in and so Tracy anyway. So like Tracy opening for Duda next week. Again, it would have been good if she would if she's going to speak to his efforts to fix the cops or whatever, to bring up her son being killed by a crooked cop. That would be an opportunity again for them to bring it back to season 1 to a certain extent. That would be awesome. That would be awesome.
because Wakanda wasn't built in a day.
Dude, don't get started, dude. I was gonna do a whole video on that shit. I was like, this is the most. He is Black Trump. Like, he is Black Trump. He is a businessman with no political experience whatsoever, who gets elected to be a leader, who makes emotional.
Messing with all these girls,
who's fucking around in the White House. Or actually, Trump did not do that. Actually, but anyway, fuck it. Now he's Bill Clinton. But anyway, fucking around with random ass women, making emotional decisions, led by his ego, and not giving a fuck about the consequences. He is Black Trump. Like
and defending his son no matter what trouble he gets.
No matter what his son does, he's like, hey, my son is gonna be all right. Also, speaking of fathers, why Jim's father should have been there at that school. Jim's father should have been there not Duda by himself at least. Like, where's her dad? Where's her mama? Like,
well, I mean, let's be real. The reason why, I mean, it's BS, but the reason why they did not put the father in that little meeting at the thing, because if you would have brought that father, or Jim's father, into the principal's office, we would then be reminded that Gemma ain't this thug that she keeps trying to pretend to be. You know what I mean? Like, also she's like, yo, we gotta defend what's right, blah 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 blah. So I don't care, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, he's speaking all reckless. And then for a split second, I forgot. Oh wait, hold on, you're that man. Get the fuck out of here, man. Like, get the fuck, you know what I mean? But that's why they want you, because as soon as you bring that in, that's like breaking that. I was like, oh yeah, that's right.
You got money.
You got money. You got money. And, sit down somewhere. Yeah, they gave her that little hat, but she's supposed to be like a Black Panther type deal.
I was like, what are we doing?
Like, her hair, every episode, her hair gets bigger.
Yes.
Like, I see what y'all doing. Don't do it. Like, y'all just trying to give her a bigger fro.
Her fro was so big in the first episode, flash forward. I was like, who the fuck is that? Like, her hair is gonna be out here by next week. I'm like, I mean, it was beautiful, but like, who the fuck is that? I was like, what did all that hair come from?
Next episode, she wears all black. I'm just saying.
They're black. They're black. And she kissed a light-skinned man. It's whatever.
You know, you're on to something that is kind of messed up, though. Yo, you go from a dark man, she's going against exactly what she's talking about, man.
She color struck. She color struck. That's what it was. she saw that light skin and that good hair, and she was like, you know what? Fuck Kevin.
Well, you know what? So another thing we didn't even talk about was,
what's up?
I appreciate that they actually are addressing the whole idea of, like, actually talking to someone. Like, Kevin was talking to a psychiatrist, right?
Yeah.
However, let's be honest, that psychiatrist, what type of question she was actually like, how about you? She's like, how about you lessen the leash on Kevin, let Kevin do some stuff, and Kevin, you just kind of. I'm like, you gave basically no good advice. You basically gave an advice that any low budget parent could give. Like, yes. And you're getting paid for that. Like,
yes,
you're the worst psychiatrist ever.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Chris. You know what? I don't want to bring it up, but since you brought it up, I'm gonna acknowledge it.
What's that?
The two white men, last episode and this episode, the two white men doctors who were talking to black women, trying to give them some medical advice. Nina and Dre last one, they were meeting with the white man doctor who was telling Jada that she needed to start chemo, right? Immediately, Jada was like, stop, nope, we're going to do natural. What about natural healing and chemicals and whatever, right? This episode, white man doctor comes in saying, hey, you got some situations going on with Keisha. Let's try this. Nope. Black woman's like, nope, we're going to do this and this and this because what do you know? Black woman gives some shitty ass psychology advice. They like, yeah, you know what? That's what we need to do. Maybe this kid who's been fucking doing drugs, alcohol, and fucking all night that we don't even know where he is most of the time. You know what he really needs? More freedom. That's what he needs. And then he'll figure out how to be a good kid. I was like, no.
And you know what's so weird too? One thing, and this is why, like, yo, Kevin couldn't be my kid in the sense of, well, no, he would be my kid, but it would just be different in the sense of like how I thought it was really weird how both Dre and Nina just casually said about the 17-year-old kid, basically saying, you're out there just keep, it's like you got a drinking habit that you need to kick. I was like, whoa, rewind. Like, it's not like he's 20-something years old and you just realize that he has a drink. No, he's 17. So what the hell is he even touching alcohol in the first place, right? Like, I mean, I thought maybe this show was like basically the 1980s where it was normalized to drink at a much earlier age or something. I'm thinking like, nah, you should whoop it. At that point, you know what you do? Like, you go old school, you go primitive, you whoop his ass. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what the hell? Like, you don't just let him just walk. Like, I would have embarrassed his ass and just drove his ass to school every single day. Like, that's how it would have been. Like, and I'd be like, bye, sweetie. That would have been my ass. I'm like, so you get your shit together? I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, come on now.
Yeah.
What the hell? That was weird.
That was that bullshit.
Yeah, and he's walking back home late at night, whatever. How's he even allowed to do that? Like, didn't he walk back late at night with like some flowers and stuff? Like, nah, man, that shouldn't even happen. Like, the 17-year-old kid or however, I don't know. He's probably 14 tomorrow. Who knows? But he's like, however old he is, like, I just thought that was just weird as hell. They're like, yeah, say, you know what, Kevin, you have been through a lot. And I was like, no, how about his freaking sister went through a lot, right?
Thank you, Chris.
She ain't even doing all this crazy shit. Keisha, so with everything that Keisha just went through in the last like season and a half and whatnot, she's more level-headed than a lot
That's
of
what I'm
these
saying.
She's giving Emmett advice. She's giving Tiffany advice. She's the one asking, where the hell is your son? Where's he? Like, what is happening? How Keisha should be the one that's messed up.
Yes.
And she is kind of messed up, but she's more rational than the people who. It's just. So I'm like, what? It's like.
Again, Kevin in many ways. No, Jake. This version of Jake. This version of Jake has more sense than Kevin at this point, and Jake has been through much more shit. Okay, raised by Reg, who beat his ass, for and basically introduced him to gang life because his mama was a crackhead. He has no idea who his dad is. His brother has been murdered. He's been arrested at least twice. Okay, he was selling drugs, and I'm like, he stole a gun, but this boy, he's more stable than Kevin is. Kevin has seen people go through shit. He has not gone through shit, and somehow like he's still wilding out, But I'm like, you're right. Keisha is going through some shit, and she's moving forward. Jake is moving forward. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, it don't.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, that's the problem I have. Like, I get it. You're trying to make Kevin the actual forerunner of the show. Like, he is the show. I get it.
He is.
But I guess the thing is though, like, and y'all trying to say that he's dealing with a lot of issues. I'm thinking like. But if you're going to have all these other characters go through a lot of shit, it's going to make me look at Kevin more of an asshole in the sense of like when he starts to react a horrible way to keep. Now I'm talking about more like last season when Kevin's like, he's like, what's wrong with her?
He's an asshole.
I'm like, yo, it's like it's hard to. It makes it hard to like kind of defend like Kevin's actions when really what it is you guys are just making these other characters go through more harsher stuff, but you want us to say that Kevin is doing weed and doing all this other stuff because he's crying and do whatever, and everyone else is chilling and Jada is like she's having cancer. She probably still won't touch weed. She probably won't become an alcoholic. You know what I mean? But you're gonna do that to Kevin when all it is oh man, I didn't defend my friend, and it's just. It's just in the words of Papa. What did Papa say? Say, you selfish. Like, Papa's some real. Like he'd be dropping bars, man.
Yeah. They need more Papa and Maisha in this show. That's his bottom line.
Yeah, yeah. I don't. So yeah, and I'm starting to think, especially, I'm starting to see that I've been right in the sense of they move around different characters in different episodes. I'm like, okay, we had enough of Maisha and Dominique in this one, so now we're going to put this character in, and then yeah, we're not going to have Imani in this one, so we're going to put more of Shade in there, and then it's like they're just moving around the pieces. You know what I mean? It's just really, I don't know. I just find it kind of weird. And then who knows? Like in another episode, you probably won't see Trig. You know what I mean? Well, I think we're going to see everybody in this next episode, but you know, it's just I don't know. I mean, and yeah, I don't know. I would say this though. I am so happy to see that this whole open marriage thing is going to probably end. I'm so happy to see that. I'm hoping that's going to end. They just need to break up. At this point, I'm like, yo, break up. I find it weird that she's catching all these films for Dante. She's like, oh, I don't want you to be messing around with that girl. I used to work with her. But you catching feelings with Dante. He don't want you. Yo, so you're like double standing my ass. Like talking about some damn, like, don't be messing with her. I used to work with her.
I'm not.
You're not gonna go there.
I'm not gonna give the storyline credit. I refuse. Like it was bullshit, and even discussing it implies that it should have been done at all. I will not. I'm sorry. Like
I was in an entanglement. What Dante? It was an entanglement. It was an entanglement. You know.
All right, man. Damn it. Look,
they gotta say entanglement before the end of the season. They gotta say that.
They gotta say. But again, Keisha. Excuse me. Tiffany was right. That she was like, do you really want me fucking all these dudes? Or would you rather just be fucking one dude? And he was like, you know what? Never mind. Because you know what Emmett's not gonna do? He ain't gonna go back and say, how about I just get to fuck Dom? How about I just fuck one of my many exes? How about I go back to one of my other baby mamas and just fuck them, but with condoms, so I don't make any more kids?
Yeah, but it's but in a weird way, you would prefer someone to do it. Let me tell you why, and it's gonna sound weird, but in a weird way, he says, like, do you prefer me fucking these other guys? In a weird way, I don't want you to fuck with no guy. But if I had to choose, I would say, yeah, other different guys. And I'll tell you why. Because just like you see this a lot. You see this like, yo, you mess around with one person. Just like, think about arranged marriages, right? You see arranged marriages like, oh, I don't like this guy. I don't know this guy or whatever. And then you get accustomed to a person. Because you see them every week. What happens? You fall in love with that person, right? That's what happened. I mean, arranged marriages work well because of that, right? Dante, that's the only guy you messing with. Catching feelings. And what did we see? Catching feelings. They weren't even messing around. He put his arms around her, and it was like she was in heaven. I'm like, damn.
That's because
damn.
That's because at Dante's house, she ain't a wife that got to do whatever. Because she has to take care of Emmett because Emmett is a child. And she ain't got to take care of EJ because she ain't got no kid over there. So she
ain't taking care of EJ anyway. So
that's what I'm saying. What neither? God damn! Don't get me started, bro. Don't get me started. These shit parents, bro. Like Emmett and Tiffany, they have their kids removed. The only one kid they take care of, that kid EJ needs to go somewhere where he's actually gonna be taken care of. And these other two kids need to come back. I want those baby mamas back in this show asking for child support.
You know when you see those baby mamas, you'll see those baby mamas if Emmett gets killed off, that's when you'll see them all. That's when you'll see them. That's it.
And thank you for endorsing my video. Please go watch. Emmett's more alive, more dead than alive. It's already on the channel. Already posted. Please like and subscribe because his storyline is shit. I mean the way it is right now. When I saw that preview. And Jada's still trying to uplift her son. She's the reason he's like this, though. She has definitely contributed to his inability to take care of himself. She has babied him from day one, and that's why she lost her boyfriend last year because he was trying to talk some sense into her that you are hurting him. You are hurting Emmett because you're not letting him stand up on his own, and she still does it because Jada was like, just tell him, and she's like, nope, no. Dre told Jada, just tell Emmett. And Jada's response was, no, I know my child. He can't take this. She's babying him too much.
Yeah, matter of fact, speaking of that, shouldn't Darnell, like, where's Darnell at?
Exactly.
Darnell I mean, like, yeah, I know that's your ex, but damn, like, y'all still cool. Like, come on.
You remember?
That's pretty big.
You remember when they were fucking again? You remember they were trying to put them back?
That's right.
And they totally
forgot about that.
They're like,
yeah,
fuck
they
that.
want you to forget. They want you to forget.
I don't forget. I remember that shit. I was like, what happened to that? He probably having some vacation with Dom to be like, hey, we're just gonna take some time off. No, Dom is gonna. I thought she's gonna be at the party next week. Anyway, I think they were combining scenes.
Dom. Oh, okay.
I think there were different flash forwards. The flash forwards in this first episode was hitting like multiple major plot points, and I think they already did the one with Tiffany and Dom, confronting each other over Emmett. So I think that's done. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think she's gonna be at the party. I thought Jada was supposed to be singing. She's singing at some point.
She's singing.
Jada's in a dress and like she's singing. That if you go back and watch the first episode, she was singing like in a nice dress. That could be her swan song. That could be like she could be dead and like that's their image of her. I mean, sad to say. You think they did? Was it like an old school with Blue when Blue died and he's like, I close my eyes. Yeah.
They show him out like you my boy Blue.
Yeah, something.
You my boy. Like, is that what they? Well,
Blue's actually it's about singing for him, but I'm saying, but like I thought she was singing at the party, but she's in a very nice dress and she is singing. Like if I remember correctly, so that could be like just an image how life could have been or whatever. But that's a lot of cramming next. I think next episode is just gonna be due to being shot at the party, and then we'll get through that. And then we'll get back, and then Kevin and Gemma, and Jake, that shit, and the aftermath of that. And then we'll just go. I mean, that's what happens when you treat your girl like shit. Somebody else is gonna step in. In fact, it's your boy. But
here's the deal though. He attempted to apologize, and then she kind of threw back and was like, "I thought you didn't want to get in trouble. Like you trying to stay away from getting in trouble." I'm thinking, your ass is like that too. Like matter of fact, she was kind of like that last season. She kind of was like that too. She was kind of like more like trying to be a good girl and whatnot.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden you don't like that. Your man is like.
Hey, that's because Jake got to her, man.
I take that back. I hate her the worst again. No, Nina's on some fuck shit. Never mind. No, it's her. No, it's Nina. I go back and forth between the two.
All right,
I go back and forth like.
All right, man. So anyway, we'll see what episode 5 brings. Who's gonna pull the trigger? What are your guesses? Amani for the win. I'm going for Amani. She's gonna. She's
really mad. She's really angry.
She's
angry.
She needs to protect that somebody. So it's either she's gonna shoot Trig or she's gonna shoot Duda. Duda makes more sense. I want her to kill Nuck. Actually, I want this to be a double homicide. That's what I'm saying. So I really hope before the season ends, like she really is going to kill. To be honest, last season, especially when you saw her at that trap house and she came out with those 2 guns, I was like, oh, she coming out as a thug. I'm thinking like this is what we're going to see of her, and then it just like it kind of just was like it just went away. So I don't know. Maybe we'll see the thug come out of her again. I don't know. She's right though. She and Trig, they went inside the trap house and got those women out of there, right? Or that was
yep.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
I thought because like she was like this just got I can't have. Then she went back. Yeah, that's right. She had the 2 guns. That's right. Because she's like, what are we gonna do with them? Like, just get them out the house. We'll figure it out later. So this ain't the first time that she tried to take down the trap house for sex trafficking. Right. So I mean, like. It'd be interesting if she just burns that place down. Like that's probably not gonna happen. But it would be nice if they burn the place down and Nuck is dying in it. Like that would be awesome.
Yeah. You burn it down and then they play some En Vogue in the background. Play what's it gonna be? Or like just like do it, put some like set it off music on there, or maybe or what happened when they homegirl Loretta walked away from that burning house and they waiting to take a sale?
Yeah, well,
maybe they do that. Just like kind of do that. Maybe
that was a car, but I see your point.
Oh, it was a car. Oh yeah.
Yeah. She burned the car. Anyway, so fire needs to be behind, Amani. Nuck needs to be in that fire one way or the other. Nuck needs to go. That's
Nuck. If you buck, boy, Nuck. If you buck. Yeah, I'm surprised that little Nuck and Keisha thing didn't pop up again. Like, cause then they said Keisha and Nuck dated or whatnot.
They did. She like I said, she was going to see him the night she got kidnapped. And then we spent the whole episode trying to figure out who Nuck was in the first place. And then I'm like, why did he come see her or look for her or whatever? And again, for a woman in the same Black community to end up being raped and kidnapped by a Black man in the community whose boyfriend is sex trafficking women, I'm like, what are we? That's a lot going on right there. If nobody put those two together. Anyway, all right. We'll see what happens next week, guys. Thank you guys very much for watching. If you still watching this video, please like on the video, comment on the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Who's gonna shoot Duda? How's that gonna work out? Is Tracy gonna be involved in this entanglement for how long? Once again, she results in another man being shot. Facts. She ain't good. She ain't good. You stay away from it. It's just not good for you. That's just the way it is.
That girl is poison.
Oh, poison. Poison. That's good.
That's big booty smile.
Okay. All right. Okay. So take care of yourselves and each other. Karaoke next week, and we out.